Okay, it's that time of the week. Let's get it. Indeed. Man talk, man talk, man talk, man talk, man talk central. That's what we're doing here. 4 dudes out of the mud, now we're ruling here. We give it to you, deliver like Amazon. You're listening to Kings and Champions. No matter what we're talking about, we're gonna give it to you straight, man, no doubt. No doubt. Hey yo, we on our way to greatness. God's got our back, so chill and relax. This is Man Talk Central. Welcome back to another episode of Man Talk Central. Let's get it.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Man Talk Central, where experience meets perspective and nothing is off limits. No filters, no fluff, just raw, uncut conversation. Before we get into it, make sure you tap in with us. Like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Now, let's get into it. Let me introduce to some and present to others. 3 brothers like no other. Good morning, Dan.
Morning, everybody out there. Glad to be here for this week. Let's get into it.
Gotcha. DJ Eddie T, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for everyone that's tuning in, and hope you enjoy the episode.
Gotcha. And for the next Supreme Court member, Colonel Esquire. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, if I don't get fired first. Good morning, gang. Good morning, audience. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And hey, got a great show waiting for you. Let's go.
Gotcha. And I'm your host, the law-abiding citizen. Now, here's what we have on deck for today. Just 2 topics. The first one, we're going to talk about that Houston police officer who decided to go live and had a rant, a racist rant. And then secondly, the second place winner who's getting more notice than the first place winner in a Delaware, a marathon. Yeah, that's where we go. So let's start with the Houston police officer. Her name is, does anybody know her name?
Ashley Gonzalez.
Ashley Gonzalez.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. She was in hot water over her racist social media rant, pretty much using the N-word countless times, talking about how she hate blacks and so on and so forth. And if I remember correctly, I think she said the N-word 25 times in a minute and a half.
I kid you not. I don't know what the fuck came over me. I grabbed that nigga by the neck and I was like, come here, you fucking nigger. And oh my God, like I felt like the world just stopped. Like it was just peace. I don't know. And then he was just like even I in my head, I was like, damn bitch, te pasaste, because I called him a fucking nigger, dog. And then he like stopped like, you did not just call me a fucking nigger. I was like, you're a nigger. I was like, oh my God, like, you're a fucking nigger, and I called you a nigger. Like, world peace.
I'm not even going to go there. So we're going to start with the legal ramifications and the legal perspective first before we dab in with DJ Eddie T and Dan. So, Colonel Esquire, thoughts, comments?
Man, we could go down so many rabbit holes with this situation, but, as far as from a legal perspective, I mean, she has the right to say what she wants to say. However, you got that freedom of speech situation going in, you work government agency, and so it can be easily seen that the government is coming down all individuals' rights, she thinks, and how she's responding. They had to fire her. I mean, I'm surprised it took as long as they did to fire her, because, I mean, what's that going to look like? She's patrolling the streets, and she, you see her person of color, especially black person. Oh man, no matter what I'm doing, I'm in good football. I'm this and not that. But the bigger thing to me is the whole thing, right? I don't know if we're responsible, partly to blame for this, but I mean that N-word, quote unquote, is a term of endearment. But I think people get too familiar with it, too casual. It's it's in my favorite song, this, and it used to mean that way back in the day, but not that mean that way now. Me, I still think it started a place of hate, and so I don't see how people can turn it around and use it for power, use it to be cool. And I think that's part of the problem. I think with us, and we tolerated it amongst ourselves. We allowed this younger generation to come in and start saying it, and it's no big deal. But then we want to put the script of somebody saying that I hate and using it to really show how I feel about it. You know, like I don't think you can have it both ways. I don't subscribe to the fact that you and I, the four of us, hang out with each other with it, be cool with it, but then be upset at somebody else using it to describe their vitriol. And, it just shows. I mean, if you watch the clip, I'm going to post it clearly, but when you watch the clip and you didn't see the video, just heard the audio, you would think she's probably black, at least trying to be black, trying to, embrace the black culture. So it's like, it's kind of ironic that you hate something that you're in essence trying to be like. So you want to pick the culture, you want to do the good things and what you think is cool about it, but then, at your convenience, turn around and hate it. The same thing that kind of hated what you're talking. And so from a legal standpoint, yeah, she should have been fired. There's no acceptance for that. Trying to build relationships in the community and take you seriously and it's going to help investigations. No one's going to respect it because they know that you hate black. So don't come in the neighborhood because you're not any response. All you're going to get is pushback. But as far as a cultural standpoint, I think that's kind of a clear message to us. I mean, it'd be no different than, I've said this before, like I can't come to a woman B word or C them. I'd be canceled. I'd get in trouble, but it's okay for their counterparts to do that. I don't believe in double standards like that.
Gotcha. It's interesting that you speak about, or that we're talking about the N-word, right? Because you got and I'm going to go ahead and say it, nigger, nigga. Are they the same or are they different? Or is it just how it's being used? So with that being said, DJ Eddie T, your thoughts?
Yes, sir. Well, being from the area that she was an officer, they, what's the word I'm looking for? Assigned her a large African-American community. She was bragging about her first arrest being, an African-American person. And I took that as, what do they say when that pit bull gets that first blood? He just he's unstoppable at that point. So I feel, and this is just me, but something could have happened to her earlier in her life to where she had that feeling of, this is who I want to target. Now I have authority. The girls who used to bully me, I'm going to get them back. I don't know her backstory, but when you put someone in a position of authority, I think that you need to take your dislikes or / hates out of your job because that causes turmoil in someone else's life because of the way that you feel. As Colonel Esquire, he, who knows how many people he's come across who were falsely accused. I have no idea how many cases you've taken over that you didn't have like true proof of whatever, but there are so many people in the system right now that have probably been falsely accused due to an officer not liking their particular color. Not just saying African Americans, but Hispanics, but Caucasians, whomever, Asians. But in her, I guess, line of work, you don't do stuff like that. And I don't recall how many minutes the video was, but obviously she was going off. And I didn't count, but law-abiding citizen, obviously you counted how many times that she said it. So I guess she felt as if today I'm going to get it out. But yeah, for her to especially be assigned that area, because I know South Houston, and it's like, okay, what do they say? It's like shooting fish in a barrel. So that's my take on it. I'm glad that she was terminated, but there are other officers that probably, not just HPD, but all of the United States that probably need to go through the same thing. But my whole take on this is, and this is going on another area, is how does a person who says something on video get fired, but you have officers out there that have literally killed people that are still working? So, that's a weird deal to me. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Gotcha. Great points. Great points. What's really crazy is I know, like, when you apply for a clearance, right? Like when I apply or get reevaluated for my TS clearance, top secret clearance, they always contact people, right, and ask about your character. And sometimes they might contact someone and ask them who else do they know that may know you, right? So they try to get a connection to see if you have some type of um lopsided background, for lack of better words. So I wonder, since she is public servant, she was an ex-Marine, she's a cop, maybe they need to do a better job of doing background checks on folks to kind of possibly, maybe there were some hidden gems that they could have found to prevent this. Because maybe this isn't just now. This is something, to your point, ADT, she's probably been feeling this way for years. So interesting. Brother Dan.
Yeah, I got to see the video eventually. But from my understanding of it, they didn't immediately fire her. Obviously, she put the video out. She was comfortable enough to say that with her friends in the car or whoever, because she wasn't driving. It didn't appear to be anyway. So they didn't fire her initially. Then you had a lot of protests going out there, like Quinnell X and Dr. Candace Matthews was out there outside the police department protesting and trying to get her removed from service.
She must go! She must go! She must go! Where are the good cops not standing here with us, condemning one of their own who is absolutely dirty and should not wear the uniform? The fact that they're not here says a whole lot. We are laying the groundwork for every city to watch what we're doing. Look how fast we moved on this. We can no longer sit around and just talk about it on social media and don't put action behind it. They have to understand, when you do this type of stuff, this is a problem. We would not allow an officer to cause friction between the police station, with the police and the community.
I believe they gave her an option of whether to resign, and then it came. So that whole sequence of events of how they went about it was eroding public trust at that time, because it's like, yo, if you notice what's happening, you keep saying you're going to clean it up. And to Colonel Esquire's point, there is a rabbit holes to go down, because, when you say the N-word with the GA or the ER, it's still the same. It's still derogatory. Or when you go to, this is how many people has she arrested, or how, because she's having a bad day. She clearly said on the tape that if she gets a call about another black person, and them paraphrasing, obviously, that they're going straight to jail. That's not right. And where are all the good cops at that are supposed to be standing up? Why aren't they doing something? And then you get promoted, or you get your badge pinned on you by an African-American chief. So how do you feel about that? So there's 50 million things to go down, including, is this how she was raised, or is this something that happened? And now you have the military aspect where she was a Marine, and she said it felt good, paraphrasing again, that she was able to do this. She hasn't done it since she was a Marine. So we already know that there's issues inside the military. I know from experience, we all know. Is that another rabbit hole to go down? There's multiple levels to this story. And to DJ Eddie T's point, I do agree. It's amazing that you're going to come out and ostracize this lady. And I get it, we got to have a starting point. So don't take it this way. But you're coming after her for just saying stuff when you have cops or police officers, however you want to put them nowadays, actually doing things that should be fireable offenses, who are going on administrative leave or being put on desk duty or other things, rather than being straight up fired. So all these things, the world is looking at the Houston Police Department because it made such a big impact. It's not something that you really want. It's not somebody you want in your department. to be policing a lot of your minority areas. She's a minority herself. It begs a bigger question, you know. Not that how did she get in, because anybody can slip through the cracks. Where was it learned? How was it learned? Is this a learned behavior, or is this a traumatic situation? So that's where I stand on that. I'm not happy about what happened. I wish they had straight up, for lack of better terms, jacked her chain and got her out of there, you know? Hopefully they're able to go after a T code, because if she's able to go to another department, then all you're doing is moving the problem from one department to another department. She'll get employment somewhere else. Or maybe she needs some psychological therapy. I don't know. Maybe there was something traumatic, as being discussed earlier, that happened. So they need to definitely dive into this situation and then start looking at that police department, because it can't be just her. If she felt that comfortable saying it and you're hiding that, I wonder if there's other officers who saw the signs or who knew stuff or who had texts, because a lot of these guys run in groups, and we already know that from experience growing up. They're running groups. They know their people. They know their place, and it's the way they talk. It's those underlying dog whistles that they use, that they can identify each other.
Gotcha. Great points, Dan. Great points. First thing I would say this, regardless who it is or what the situation is, I always believe a person that deserves due process. And from what I've researched was that they suspended her, did an investigation, then they fired her. So, you know, it might not have been as quick as many may have liked. It does seem like an open and shut case, but she does deserve due process, and that's what she was given. The second thing, in reference the fact check, I got it from the Breakfast Club. 25 times the N-word was said. I didn't actually stay on there and count. Just need to throw that out there. But I will say this, you know, some would disagree with you, Dan, reference to ER versus the GA, because, you know, that's a term of endearment in a lot of communities, right? And that is very culturally accepted, that GA word in some areas, right? And, you know, what you call it, the industry, music industry. We talked about this, I think, on like the first or second episode, and reference how they glamorize that word, right? And who benefits the most from it, right? Is it the white population? Is it the black population? It's the artists may benefit a little bit, but once again, what are we showing by allowing a derogatory term being constantly used in our community?
What I don't understand is that if it's so offensive to them, then why do they say it over and over again?
So Riley said the N-word before you did that morning.
He says it every morning. He calls me nigga. He calls the other kids nigga. He calls himself nigga all the time. Nigga this, nigga that, nigga please, bitch nigga, nigga, have you lost your mind? Nigga, check that hoe. Nigga, you bullshitting. Break yourself, nigga. He says it so much I don't even notice it anymore. Last week in lunch, Riley says to a classmate, "Can a nigga borrow a French fry?" And my first thought wasn't, oh my God, he said the word, the N-word. It was, now how is a nigga gonna borrow a fry? Nigga, is you gonna give it back? I'm telling you, my inside voice didn't talk like that before he got in my class.
He said, I said it first. Man, I'm telling you, I seen the hatred in his eyes the first time I walked into class. All he saw when he looked at me was a black nigger.
I mean, that's a whole different rabbit hole. But with that, the biggest thing is social media, right? You know, before, there's a lot of people who probably felt this way, but just never had a platform to actually get it out to the world. You know, some people believe that, you know, my Facebook account is mine. I could post whatever I want on it, and, you know, I'm not going to get in trouble, so on and so forth. You know, there should be some guidelines regarding using social media. So I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook. Hopefully they just delete her account, get her up out of there. But at the end of the day, wow, she went ham. And I don't really believe it was anything traumatic. I think that was learned behavior. You know, I don't think it was, you know, well, I'm not going to use, no, fuck it. You know, I am going to use it. Maybe some brother dogged her out back in the day. I don't even know.
Oh my God. Please tell me to record.
You are crazy.
I'm so tired of you.
I'm so tired of you.
I'm
so tired of you.
You are making this so much worse. Please tell me you're recording this. You are going to lose custody of Damien for this. Why would you do this?
Why would I lose custody when you...
Look at you. You broke my fucking window.
Let go.
Can you stop? Like, what the fuck? Stop. Can you? No, we need to call someone.
Okay.
Like, this is actually ridiculous.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I'm glad she's gone from the police department. But there's multiple police departments around the world. I mean, I'm sure if you look at the diversity within departments, you'll see, Black Americans, whether it's male or female, is very low, less than 1-2%. Probably the same like it was in our high school, right? 0.3%, right? 0.3%. So I would just encourage people, in your communities, look at the police department that you have and see what's going on out there. Because as Dr. Matthews said, it's one thing to be an advocate, but another thing is to be an activist. So when you have wrongdoings in your areas or so on and so forth, you need to go and, handle business. Any other comments? Go ahead, Colonel Esquire.
Yeah, I don't know how to raise my hand on the phone, but we'll keep it moving. But I wanted to go back. Well, first, I'm in agreement with you, RBIII. I think, that sounds like a woman. Her rant sounds like a woman scorn. She probably got railed and left, and now it's a personal vendetta to pretty much hate all people of chocolate persuasion. That's just me. But anyway, getting back to DJ and T's comment about, and Dan also, police arrests, as far as like they got rid of missing dollars with quickness, but yet you see a lot of these videos, a lot of these arrests where people have actually died, and then they went on administrative leave, and in many cases they kept their job. So, I work obviously with law enforcement, and I say this, when my perspective of law enforcement has definitely changed since I started working in the district attorney's office. You get to see a lot of body cam footage, a lot of dash cam footage. You read a lot of the investigative reports. You talk to the officers, you talk to witnesses, and you get really behind the scenes when like you're doing investigative work. And the large majority of police and law in general are doing good work, and they're not, obviously, racism is going to be in every aspect, every job, every career field, every industry. You can't escape it. But I've been pleasantly surprised that a lot of the stuff that I see, they're actually doing their job. Now, I can't justify the killings. Now, obviously, you look at some of these things, they went over the line. But there's a thing called probable cause. It's a low standard. You can get pulled over for a tail light. You can do anything. If the police have probable cause to think that you're doing something wrong, they can pull you over. Then, if you're not compliant, that goes into obstruction, resisting, all those things that make it justified for the police to do what they do. Not do why killing or seriously hurting somebody, no. But there's a threshold that was reached by the person that got pulled over or stopped or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And then, when they do the investigation, you can see on the body cam, okay, he was not being compliant. He was doing this, he was doing that. With Ashley Gonzalez, back to RB3's point, she just wanted attention. She just thought she was untouchable by putting it on social media. And she pretty much let the world know her agenda, the reason for stopping this person. So we don't know what this person was doing. Could have been minding his or her own business, or he could have been doing something. But her mindset from the beginning was, I'm going to target Black people. And that's where I had the issue. Because from the jump, she puts on her belt and gets into that patrol car and starts driving down in those neighborhoods. Her mind state is like, I'm going to find the first Black person I see in him alone. And that's why she had to go. That's why she had to go. Now, do other precincts need to clean up their forces? Absolutely. But with her, she made it known that, hey, this is what I'm doing. And of course, the police are gonna, every good profession, I would assume, is going to try to cover their own tracks and kind of clean it up in the house. I don't know if you remember years ago when the whole investigation came out about sexual harassment in the military and how women were being mistreated, and then the congressional woman wanted to implement policies and basically take over military investigations, and everybody in the military just pushed back. They were like, "We don't need you to clean up our own force. We'll do it ourselves." It's kind of like with the police force. They don't want anybody coming in cleaning up their house. They'll do it themselves. So, right, wrong, or indifferent, I wasn't surprised about the police force kind of backing her in the beginning, at least, until they did their own investigation.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, I know what we all can say. Hey, happy job hunting, Ashley Gonzalez Martinez. Happy job hunting. Enjoy yourself.
Screw you! You're fired!
Man, it feels good to be doing this again. Reliving the days of my youth. I haven't had this much fun in a long time. Colonel Esquire. Also go by GIBSON. FMG on the mic. It goes 1, 2, uno, dos. If I ain't the best man, I gotta be close. Best thing since sliced bread, I gotta be toast. I'm a soldier, always guard the limits of my post. Yep, Man Talk Central. I'm one of your hosts. I'm on point, precise with the poetry and prose, making that grade like it's the end of the semester. I'm the crown flow, always under the weather, but I don't need a booster shot. I like my bar 6 so the music's hot. Delivering the kill shot, coup de grace.
All right. Now, I know, we all haven't ran a marathon before. And I know we all are not as active as we once were. But I found it pretty amazing. The Delaware Marathon, they had this race where this one guy, he was about at least 30 yards in front of this young guy. And he celebrated a little bit, looked at his watch. And that brother, I was looking at a couple of videos. That brother started his kick from way back.
Catch him! Get 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 him!
And nothing was going to stop him. I'm surprised he stopped even when he ran through the finish line. But anyway, the biggest conversation about that is, why are people talking more about the second place finisher and not the winner? Start with you, DJ Eddie T.
Well, I think people are more speaking about him because he celebrated too early. That's been the buzzwords. He celebrated too early. I guess with the old saying, he counted his chickens before they hatched. So, yeah, it's just the weirdest thing to me is that people probably really don't even know the gentleman's name who won. I mean, I know who won. I think it's Joshua Jackson, and the other gentleman was Carson Mello. But
Outstanding.
Yeah, it's funny that what did Bobby say on that one movie? If you're not first, you're last.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
So it's just kind of one of those deals. It's like, hey, I don't know, but this one took a spin because everyone is focusing more on the guy who lost. And, Joshua, I've seen a couple of pictures. I don't even know if I know he's been interviewed, but I hadn't seen any interviews or anything of him stating anything. But all of the focus is literally on Carson. It's like, well, hey, what were you thinking? And how did you feel? And this, that, and the other. And he's like, well, man, I did this, I did that, and I had no idea that he was even coming. He said, when I look back over my shoulder, he was way back there. He said, so I didn't even think anything of it. Next thing he knows is he's looking down at his clock or his watch, and the guy goes by him. So, but the more of the focus is on him, of course, because, again, like I said, people feel as if he was celebrating too early. But that old saying, never give up, hey, Joshua showed us. There it is. Never give up. If you see something that you want, you go get it. And he proved it.
Yeah. Great point, DJ Eddie T. And you know what I like about your comments is one thing you didn't bring up was race, right? And whereas some people are really talking about, well, if it was roles was reversed, the white guy would have beat the black guy. You know, they want to talk about a lot of times in life we need to leave race out of it. However, Joshua Jackson, hey, he like that kick. Colonel Esquire, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think people want to kick a man when he's down. But again, you can't celebrate too early. You gotta, work till the job is finished. The job wasn't finished. He gotta run the race until the race is over. And my compliments to the brother who didn't give up, like DJ ADT said. He kept going. He saw a goal. He was gonna get it. He wasn't gonna be denied. The could have been winner, should have been winner, started celebrating too early. I mean, and I think that's a lesson we can take in life. Yeah, you gotta have fun. You gotta celebrate, but you work hard and you play hard, and that's it. And he started playing a little bit too early, a little bit too hard. He ended up losing the race. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, and I think they're interviewing the loser more so because part of it is like, hey, look at you. How could you be so reckless and celebrate so early? And maybe there is a sympathetic factor to it. Who knows? But for those who want to bring race into it or whatever the case is, I mean, there could be that aspect of it. But then again, he's the winner. So I mean, he won the race. So why even worry about it? I mean, why even bring that element into it? This is probably a lesson from a positive aspect we should all take and have a reminder to us and our kids. You don't give up. You fight and you don't quit. And you celebrate when the job is done. Pretty much the end of the story.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I believe Joshua Jackson was thinking about that book his parents read to him when he was a kid. I think I can. Oh, all right. Anyway, Brother Dan, what's your thoughts?
No, I agree with both DJ ADT and Colonel Esquire. It's a tale to be told that you never give up until it's over. Last bell, last whistle. You was taught that from when you was little playing sports. Never give up until the final game's over. Clock says 0. This gentleman exuded that, and he did what he had to do. You can hear him pushing all the way through, people cheering him on. He did his thing and did not quit. And that's a good tale to learn. I think that's something we all learned when we were kids growing up. And I think that's something that hopefully the next generation will pick up rather than this participation trophy. I'm very happy for this young man. I wish they would have interviewed him. I don't know why to speak to that point, it doesn't make sense why you would interview the second place guy unless you really wanted to get his true feelings on how it felt to come in second place, because he did look like he had it. I'm more interested to see I don't know if y'all saw some of the pictures of the people that were actually holding the banner on both sides, how their jaw dropped. That was pretty interesting too. Both of them had their mouths wide open, but more of the story, never give up till it's completely over. You never know what you can accomplish. Human beings accomplish a lot of amazing feats, and this was one of them.
There was a video. It had to be a brother. He was like, all right, okay, I'll see your kick. Oh. I was like, oh, dang. But hey, look here. At the end of the day, both of them earned the right and they're eligible for the Boston Marathon, which is a good thing, which I'm sure both were attempting to. But when you really think about it, in marathon running, when have we ever really been interested in that? Whenever has that been on? I mean, Boston Marathon used to be on there to the bomb, no fun, no pun intended. But, I think you used to hear about it a little bit, right? I think we even have a couple classmates that ran in the Boston Marathon. But it's not a sport that is really that everybody talks about. So I think this was something to help highlight running, right? But yeah, it's a boring sport. You know, I used to love running, but it's a boring sport. But any alibis?
Yeah,
I
I
would
think.
just
Oh, go ahead.
go off.
TJ.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry. I was just going to go off of what Ben had stated. That's why I raised my hand earlier. Is that the ladies that were holding the tape? I know in her mind she was like, I know you hear this dude come. I know you hear him come. Man, what are you doing? Oh, and she was just like, you know. So, but no, those were some great shots, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. I got a chuckle out of that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Go ahead, Colonel Esquire.
No, I was just gonna say we have to talk to the medal and the trophy that he won because those are the ones that interviewed the winner. So I mean, he's got the prize.
Yeah. That is crazy. But man, what was that? That's 20. How many miles is that? 24? What's a marathon? 26.2? Gotcha. Look, I ran the Army 10 miler. And after that, I just felt like I needed somebody else's legs. There's no way I could see running 26.2 miles. Oh my God. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Hey man,
But I will say
remember,
this, you know, what's up, Eddie T?
Oh no, I just remember our track days. We get off the bus. I think it was Coach Giddens. It wasn't Coach Dilling, but Coach Giddens. We get off the bus and E.T., hey, you're gonna run the 1600 meter, whatever it was, the relay, whatever it was. And I was like, Coach, you do realize that I run 100, 200 mile or whatever. That's what we call it back in the day, 100, 200, 440 relay, mile relay, whatever. But yeah, he told me that I was running 2 laps that day in a race. And I was like, man, after I finished it, I was like, never again. I went up to him. I said, this is a grown man, I'm a kid. But I'm telling this man, I am not doing that again, ever. Shoot, that 1 lap all out almost killed me, but he wanted me to do 2? Come on.
Man, look, I just, when you talk about running, I think about the days we was training, was running up and down that hill, running on the football court field. I was like, man, we ain't training for shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
what a
it is what it
disadvantage
is.
we had. We didn't even have a track. You know, we
didn't have a
go with a
uniform.
Jinx.
We didn't have a uniform.
We go with a Jinx, once every 2 or 3 weeks and run?
Yeah.
But no, we're supposed to compete with people at a track. Come on, man.
That shit is crazy, man. That is crazy. Well, I will say this, that, you know, as far as topics, you know, that's all we had today. Wishing both those young men the best. What I will say is I hate that Joshua Jackson didn't get an interview, because I did find out about Carson Mello, I believe that was his name. He's from Chambersburg, PA, but he's about to graduate with a degree in pharmacy, I believe that's what his background is. So, you know, and he, you know, even Kill Kid, I guess after the fact also they exchange words, exchange numbers, and they still text back and forth. So they'll be connected to, you know, to each other forever. Hopefully it'll be a positive experience for both of them. And to Dan's point, Colonel Esquire and DJ Eddie T, it's a learning experience. Hopefully individuals will look at the learning experience behind it, not about the 2 individuals that was running.
I guess if I would have to bestow some advice, take it if you want it. If not, it's just advice. I would say never give up. And that widens out to whatever lens you want to put it in. I think as long as we are breathing, we have a chance. We are all eventually going to get to the finish line. So, I don't know, if you just attack every day with persistence and effort, and, you know, follow your excitement and enthusiasm, and never give up, especially through those hard times, because I'm not going to act like it's all roses and candy canes. There'll be a bunch of hard times. Just do your best, try to do the best you can, and never give up.
Reinforce the rhythm, double check the mics, reiterate the styles I know that you like. Get your rhyme ambassador, the man you've been asking for. Came to kick past your door, automatic. I got the charismatic persona, bar stay hot like I'm sitting inside a sauna. I stay away from the drama. I separate myself from MCs like a sentence has got a comma. G-I-B-S to the O-N. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings that you're showing. I get on the mic and start going. It's so intoxicating, like a .08 that I'm blowing. A hobby of mine, but I do it like a profession. Bars over bass and treble, there's no question. Yes, I'm confessing. Before I got saved, I used to pull girls like this at my discretion. But that man is gone, he went away. At war with your flesh, gotta die each day. In Christ, I'm a new creature. But on this microphone, yo, I'm still a monster that'll haunt ya. Watch me go bonkers, I might go unconscious. Flavor in the beat like cayenne and cilantro. Bars are raining in the booth to wear a poncho. Man Talk Central, 4 dudes, quattro.
So with that, I know this wasn't stated, but I got to put it out there because my Cowboys went ham on the defensive draft. NFL draft was pretty interesting this year. What? I'm even highlighting New York Jets. Who'd y'all pick? I mean, y'all did get a good receiver, but you still ain't got no quarterback. But anyway, I think the NFL draft was pretty good. Comments, Colonel Esquire.
Yeah, I have a lot of comments, but I will keep them brief. You know, as a Jets fan to the death, like I said before, it is my birthright to be a Jets fan, and I'm embracing that birthright and heritage, and I'm so happy to be wearing the gang green. However,
you know that's a
draft.
disease.
You know, you're picking talent. You know, I can't tell you how many classes that, you know, not just the Jets or the Cowboys, but in general, media talks about, oh, this is the best draft class that this team has ever had, whatever. End up 500 for the season, 3-13, whatever the case is. It doesn't matter about the talent. It's about being able to bring that talent, cultivate it, and make it, you know, produce on the field. So yes, while I am happy that the Jets are getting some shine as far as their draft picks, it doesn't mean a hill of beans unless they create wins on the football field. So I will reserve my comments until the season.
Oh, definitely understand that, right? It's always a hit and miss because you don't know if somebody's going to get injured. You don't know if somebody has off the field issues. You really don't know anything. But I know you are a diehard Houston Texans fan, DJ Eddie T. How did your team do?
Now I am. You know what? To be honest with you, I have no earthly who we even chose or what happened. But yeah, somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose the first game, and at the end of the year, somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose. But throughout the year, you know, of course, I'll be paying attention. But I have no idea who the Texans chose. But I think Keelan Rutledge, a guard from Georgia Tech. I just looked it up. So let's go, Keelan. And hopefully he can help the Texans do what they need to do. Protect our boy this year. Protect him.
Yeah. You know, the crazy thing about it is you could be an outstanding athlete, but then you get with some janky coaches and your whole career is done, right? So a lot of times so much is put on these players, but they got to be put in the right situation, right? So hopefully all the general managers out there are thinking about that and so on and so forth. Dan, what are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, to your point about being an outstanding athlete and get some bad coaches. I mean, let's just look at Sam Darnold right there, right off the rip. I mean, he was a Jets quarterback, and guess what? He's a Super Bowl winner now. Honestly, I don't watch the draft because it's like I'll wait till the season starts or preseason. Some of those guys may get traded. Some of those guys may get cut. Some of those guys may get injured in between them. But once the season starts, we got a foundational base of who the roster is going to be and where we're going to go. That's when I start paying attention. I'm not a big draft guy. I'm not a big Columbine type guy. I'm glad that they do that stuff so those kids can showcase their talents. Don't get me wrong, but it's not my thing.
Well, you know what I will say, you know, I guess it's a disease in the New York Jets' organization because you guys haven't drafted a quarterback since Joe Namath. I think that was before we were born. But anyway, yeah. Nah, I'm messing with you. But, you know, to your point, I think it's pretty interesting. It's almost like in the military, right? They're like, okay, your physical fitness prepares you for war, right? So you do Army, you do push-ups, sit-ups, and you run 2 miles. I'm not running 2 miles on no battlefield. I don't know about you all, but I don't see that happening, so I kinda equate that to the combine. Does does the combine need to change a little bit? I mean, like, I know they have the it's all about running fast, right? You run a 4.27, oh yeah, we gotta have you, and then that joker's garbage, right? I think they might need to change it up a little bit in reference to some of the tasks they have or the obstacles that they have to go through doing the what do you call it? The combine. Thoughts, Colonel Esquire?
The combine, I don't know. I think it's fine the way it is. I mean, I'm not a professional football player or really into football like that. But I mean, when you compare it to the military fitness tests, I don't think that the combine is as far off to football as the military fitness tests are to combat. Because to your point, all this running that we're doing, yeah, you need to sprint. You need to be able to move somewhere, get somewhere quickly. For long distance running, I'm not sure that's the right environment for it, or the right training standard to test your endurance. But the combine, I think that they would be more suited. I mean, you probably can't do it because it's the physical toll on your body. But the same way the NBA has G League, and the Major League Baseball has the minor leagues like AAA and AA. Like, I wish there was some way that the NFL could create their own developmental league. And I know that some people look at, what is it, the UFL now, the summer football. I mean, but they kind of work with the NFL, but they kind of don't. But it would be great if, for example, the Jets pick, they could immediately put him, in a developmental team, somewhere down in Auburn or something like that, play football there and build them their skills and then bring them to the Jets. But as far as the combine goes, as far as like what they're testing for, what they're looking at, I don't think it's too far off. I think it's a pretty decent measuring stick or indicator of how they're going to do as far as football goes. But then, and to your point, RB3, they're in the process of changing the fitness test again for the military. So it's like, how many times we gotta, change these tests? I mean, the results are still gonna be the same. You're still gonna have people out of shape. There's still gonna be people that can't do it. And it doesn't really matter what fitness measuring stick you have, there's still gonna be issues with it. So just pick one and roll it. I think the Army's the only one that is going back and forth. I don't know, Dan, you can speak to this, but didn't the Air Force maybe change theirs a few years ago? But up until that point, it's been the same. The Marines have been the same. I think the Navy might mess with it, maybe a little bit, but the Army's the only one that can't make up their mind. Crazy.
Well, what I will say is, to your point, I remember when they changed it to what it is now, right? And the biggest thing was after they wanted to reduce that 2-mile run. And I think it was a lot of conversation about reducing it to like a mile, but you had those old heads. You had those old heads and they said, no, well, let's do a mile and a half. So hopefully they'll get it right because there's a whole new generation in place right now. And they didn't really train them up to prepare themselves for the test that's in place now. And I'm just speaking from the Army. It was like, okay, this is what's going to happen. We're going to send some people down to El Paso to, learn how to be trainers, so on and so forth, go back to your unit and put it in play. Right. So we kind of messed that up, but on that same token, hey, it is what it is. Glad I'm not part of that. But switching over to the combine, I don't know what the broad jump truly tells. What is that assessing for me? Granted, we're not football players, but what does the broad jump truly assess for an NFL player? Any thoughts, Dan?
I have no idea what the broad jump's going to assess other than the fact that you can jump. But going back to the military real quick, the Air Force has changed theirs up. They did the bike test and they've done the track, so they've changed it up a few times from my experience of being in the Air Force. And then switching back to the combine, like I said, I'm not a big fan. I did see on ESPN where they did have the gentleman break the bench press record for I want to say it was 49 reps, which is pretty impressive. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how that's going to translate onto the field because I can do 49 reps of bench press. Let me, some of those kids can play better without doing simple assessments of their skills. How many times have we been in any sport? You watch guys who can't do the simplest of drills, but when they get in there and they start playing, it's a whole different ball game. This guy pulls some skills out of nowhere, So I'm not a combine fan. That's all I'm going to go with. I'm going to leave it at
So I
that.
did look this up before I turn over you, DJ ADT. The broad jump, explosive strength in the lower limbs. That's what it assesses. DJ ADT, talk to us.
Basically, I was going to say, I mean, I would think that it shows how quick they can get off the line or something like that. That's all I was going to say. I mean, yeah, you summed it up. They use a better word than me, explosiveness. But yeah, that's all I was going to add because I think that's what they would look at. But back to what you were saying about changing some things in the combine, I'm pretty sure someone has done a case study and they've stated, hey, look, this works best for what we're looking for the prelims, to get the guy into camp, I guess. That's my only, I'm pretty sure year after year after year with technology, with the little electrodes that can hook to your body and all of that stuff, I'm pretty sure that they have fine-tuned it and stated, hey, this is how this will help this particular athlete, get to the next level.
Well, I think if they would have looked at, I think it was Rocky number 4, Drago. No, let me stop tripping. But no, I'm just excited that we're getting back into closing out the NBA, have a couple dead months and then get back into the NFL because I don't know what it is about the fall time, but that's when everything seems to just ripen and open up.
Coming right at the gate with no delay, getting started right away. Got a little bit to say. First off, glory to the Lord each and every day. He's the truth and the life. He's the only way. He's the potter, I'm the clay. What more can I say? Need to get him in your life. Hurry up, out of the way. Getting that out of the way. Now we go on with our day. Gonna keep giving you bars, cause you know my resume. Treat the music like a crime, I'm a predicate. Cause I be murdering beats with the nouns, verbs, and the predicates. Hard, never delicate. Cause when it comes to a hater, see you later. We gotta stay separate. Ain't no doubt, I'm the one you can lean on. Man talk search is what I be on. No doubt. Cause every time you turn the beat on, my flow stay hot like a furnace in your house whenever you turn the heat on.
So, as we close this episode, let's pause, honor the loved ones we've lost, appreciate those who still walk beside us, and welcome to new lives that remind us hope is always being renewed. Remember, our time isn't endless. We got more days behind us than ahead, so choose to make the ones you have left count. Lead with kindness, act with purpose. Whatever you do, do it with conviction. Make your impact, make it meaningful, and above all, make it yours. We, the 4 brothers from this podcast, Man Talk Central, saying peace.